Imagine getting a doctor or a judge that was a participation trophy winner type of person. With this AI, I'm pretty sure anybody can get certified to do anything nowadays. I know people clown on me for making content with AI or using AI to read my scripts or AI to help me develop my thoughts a little bit more or write my books. I let those complaints go on deaf ears because it has streamlined my work. Instead of having 10 people helping me with my agenda, with my art, with my whatever, I could just outsource some stuff to AI, have some creative vision overseeing it, and then stuff kind of happens. So, one of the things that we will talk about today is over on lxmnv.com is my sovereign architecture. I should probably make it more prominent. What is this sovereign architecture? I feel like this is going to be sometimes important to visit and revisit and chop it up, because through my research, through my thinking, through my writings, through my musings, I have found out that humans are sovereign beings, or they can be if they choose to be, right? If we are stuck in cycles of addictions and debt and have tos and musts, then that's not very free, right? So let's say I'm going through some legal situations at the moment. I have to pay fees. I have to attend classes. I have to travel to whatever I need to do. I have to arrange for meetings with this and that, right? So to some degree, a form of freedom has been stripped. When I have a lot of debt and child support and bills and expensive things to maintain, I have to get up tomorrow to go back to work, right? I have to go get that bread. And there's not a lot of people that don't have the have tos, right? Sometimes we make commitments and you have to honor it. If your word is your bond, right? Some people have zero pride when it comes to their word, so they can say that they're gonna do one thing and then they'll flip the script at the slightest inconvenience. And it's not very sovereign, right? But a sovereign being who is made in the image of the creator with certain capabilities and the capacity for speech and understanding and thinking of the future and reflecting on the past and living in the present and making complex decisions that are not just I hungry, I eat, I tired, I sleep, I'm bored, I play. So humans have the capacity for all sorts of emotions and to understand great things of life, right? So the sovereign architecture, at its heart, the sovereign architecture is about order over chaos, responsibility over entitlement, stewardship over extraction, long-term thinking over short-term comfort, building systems that outlive personalities. That core does not change. So whether we want to apply the sovereign architecture to the family structure, to a business, to a church, to a friendship, to a corporation, to a team, right? The goal is, and we'll quickly glance through it because this is productive, but everything I do that's kind of heavier discussion types requires a little bit of conversation. Sovereign architecture. The preface was why most systems fail quietly. Most businesses don't collapse in spectacular fashion. They don't explode, they don't implode overnight. They quietly erode. Performance dips, culture thins, good people disengage, leaders get reactive, meetings multiply, clarity disappears, and by the time the numbers finally scream, the architecture has failed. So, how many times have you been on a failing team or on something that looks like it, but there is no culture, there is no honesty, the morale is gone. You can just tell that the business is going nowhere fast, right? So there are solutions to things like this. Chapter 1 is foundations over feelings. Sustainable performance is built on standards, not emotions. Most leaders don't fail because they're cruel or incompetent. They fail because they confuse empathy with architecture. They feel deeply, they care genuinely, they want people to like them. And slowly, without realizing it, they began managing feelings instead of foundations. This is where the erosion starts. So a lot of times we have people that have been working at a place for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and we just like them, right? They're like a landmark in the office. They've always been there. They're probably older than all the furniture, and somehow they're just kind of still there. And we're comfortable with them, and we keep them um, kind of on the team, but not quite understanding what they bring to the table, right? They've just always been there. So, but what do they bring to the table? And in my experience, because I'm often the new guy, right? I come in and I have skills and I have attitudes and I have certain level of respects that I kind of would like to be offered to me as a professional at what I do. And I'm often butting heads with Mr. Seniority types, right? When I shave, I look like I'm in my early 20s, and people just don't believe that I have 10 years experience and I've been trying to run businesses and I've been doing this and that. And as far as the car repair world, I'm actually a little bit more versed and versatile than just a regular technician or just a regular painter, right? I can weld, I can do the framework, I can do the dents, I can do the bondo, I can do the restos, the customs, the wide body kits, and in addition to painting, right? So I have been in this for a little too long, and curiosities, right? But as I'm hopping around these shops, I understand that some people are there and they get the top money because they've been there the longest and they're likable and this and that, but it's just not quite the best thing for the bottom line. And I have raised the fuss here and there where I valued the team and I was like, here's some constructive feedback. um I think I come in and I bust my ass, and I think that my results kind of speak for themselves, but I don't think this game is fair, So and then we butt heads. How they do what they do in the end is entirely up to them, but then it's a chance for me to decide whether I want to be a part of it or not. Chapter 2: Top performers are not optional. Excellence is not a personality preference, it's a moral obligation in any system that affects others. Most leaders say they want excellence. Few are willing to protect it because protecting excellence requires discomfort. It requires drawing lines. It requires disappointing people who feel entitled to stay. So instead, organizations drift toward tolerance, and tolerance quietly kills everything. So I kind of sell myself as a top performer. Not only am I capable, I have the energy and I have the skill and the patience to pretty much execute a lot of jobs to the best of my ability, and it happens to meet the professional standard. However, when I meet people that are less driven, less skilled, more senior but less skilled, right? It creates a clash. I'm like, okay, how much of their ego am I gonna have to walk around simply because of their seniority, simply because they're old, simply because they've been here doing it this way for a little too long? So I usually end up either getting weeded out, right? Because uh, sticking out like a sore thumb. So, or I select myself and I'm just like, not my team, not my setting. Boom. And I'm out. Granted, I'm not the toppest of top performers, but I have enough of a oomph to think that my performance is a little bit better than the average. And the average is kind of selling relatively well, right? Accountability is freedom, chapter 3. Clear accountability reduces anxiety, increases trust, and accelerates performance. Most people think accountability feels like pressure. It doesn't. Ambiguity feels like pressure. Accountability feels like relief. And what is accountability? What if what if I knew my job, I knew all the tasks that I was supposed to be doing, and I knew all the in and outs of my skills, and I'm giving a task, right? With clear instructions. Boom, have this done by this date or this time. Here's the quality, here's the preferred route that we want. But ultimately, because I'm the expert, I kind of choose which route is best executed, and then we'll kind of do the repair plan together. Um, but if I they don't know my skill level, and then they give me a job with no parameters and no guidelines, um, and I do it to the best of my ability, but I wasn't supposed to take the 20 hours to do it. It was a customer pay, and the dent was supposed to be a small 2-hour repair because the customer could only afford 2 hours. So by me doing the best I could without clear instructions, I guess, or clear boundaries of accountability, or vice versa, right? I took on a repair. I took on a beautiful BMW, gave it 2 hours to repair it. It looks like shit, but I'm like, I'm trying to be as fast as possible because I gotta get to the next job. Well, the the core part of my job description is let's make some professional looking cars, repairs, right? And this brand new 20 whatever BMW cannot leave looking like it got drywall repair in it, right? Oh, okay. This looks like it's the end of the discussion. But, anyways, so sovereign architecture is more than just um like I'm better than you type of thing. But it's also, how do we build a kingdom that is aware of the ground workers, of the management, of the customers, of the community. Just how do we think about the reach and our impact for the with respect of a human sovereignty, right? It's very profitable to sell fear and to try to dupe people out of their money with a fine print or some deception type of things. Um, Fortunately, we have, in America at least, we have a few business ethics and practices that constitute for a good business, that constitute for a good service or product. And we peer review each other, it seems, quite well, because we're very opinionated, right? That was chapter 3. Chapter 4. Culture is built, not hoped for. Culture is not what leaders say they value. It's what their systems reward, tolerate, and correct. Most leaders care about cultures. They talk about it, they workshop it, they put it on the walls on websites, and then they're shocked when nothing changes. That's because culture is not a belief system, it's a behavior outcome. Monkey see, monkey do. If the employees see the management be shitty and shady and not very kind to the people in their charge, then that type of thing bleeds out to the community, to the family, to each other, to the customer, and then slowly but surely something is going to keep eroding away at the bottom line, but the overall integrity and the happiness of the structure of the business, right? So if we proceed with a win-win mentality, customer wins, the company wins, and the world at large wins, the community around us wins, then that's really good fucking business technically, right? So anyways, there's a few more chapters. It's available on my website. At the moment it's a free article, but I think it's worthwhile to possibly become a book. And then it'll be another thing on my shelf that nobody buys, which doesn't bother me actually. Because whether somebody buys my book or not, I'm still a published author. I'm still a thinker. I'm still the sovereign architect. I'm still the Christian with a message. I'm still like lxmnv.com is still my work, you know. You just didn't participate in it yet. Usually my customers love me. And then I have courses and books and some blank t-shirts. You could buy it through me instead of Walmart. Why go to Costco to buy blank t-shirts when you can buy them through me? Come on now. I'm kidding. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I should be asleep. Deuces.